We're back, and we're laying down the law here on a Sunday morning. It's football all around.
Feels good.
Feels great. And I'm in here with the Lieutenant Governor of the South Texas District of AAU, Rod Chico Tanner, and also of 1250 AM ESPN San Antonio, James Pledger. And now we go to a guy just north of 35, about 280 miles. Had a game last night from ESPN.com. ESPN Dallas, our friend, and I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Thank you for your patience, Calvin Watkins. Calvin, good morning and welcome to Laying Down the Law.
Good morning. What's going on?
Hey, man, we're excited. It's football season, and we finally got you on the show. We've talked more than probably people know on the sidelines at training camp. Now I can get your real assessment of what's going on the show here, and just welcome to Laying Down the Law.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely, my man. 37-30. We were talking off air. We're all Cowboy fans here. You cover them. Okay, well, James more of a Texans fan. But this side of the studio.
I got love for Dallas.
Yeah.
Yes. A very shaky start to a preseason NFL football game for the Cowboys. But it seemed that besides Justin Tucker telling everybody he wants to be the first pick off the board for fantasy kickers, Dallas kind of, got themselves and their legs up under them and played a fairly decent game, at least improved from last week.
Yeah, I mean, after watching that defense against San Diego in the opener, you were like, oh, my gosh, can it get any worse? And they did play a lot better. And you can say the 14 points they gave up, the defense, it wasn't their fault, and they held the Ravens to a field goal and once the Ravens offense got on the field. So, yeah, I thought defensively they played a lot better, and after almost double the first snap of the game,
right,
the handoff to DeMarco Murray, I thought he was very efficient. He avoided a sack. So I thought he was really good. And I'm going to tell you, the offensive line for the Cowboys might be the best I've seen in a long time around here.
We're talking with Calvin Watkins from ESPNDallas.com. Calvin, compare the line in the 90s, and again, that's probably not fair to these guys right now. However, a much, as you said, much better push up front, and a lot longer time for the quarterbacks to throw.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard to compare, when you got, guys like that, Nate Newton, number one, Stepnowski, and, for a long time, they had Flozo Adams and whatever.
Yeah, and Eric Williams.
Eric Williams is very good for a long time. But this line it's very young. There's nobody older than 26 years old. Tyron Smith at left tackle, the anchor. Doug Free might be the old man of the group, along with Mackenzie Bernardo, but they got some core guys that are very young. Zach Martin, first-round pick, he's still learning the position, but he's really nasty. He's going to be really good. We all know about Travis Frederick from what he did last year. He's going to be a solid player. He was really good last year as a rookie, and this year he's off to a really good start. I like Ronald Leary, that guard spot. He's competing with Bernardo there for the left guard position. But Leary's a young kid, lost some weight a little bit in the offseason. He's looking really good, and this is going to be the strength of this unit. Is the offensive line, nothing against Witten or Dez or Tony, but the offensive line is going to be the key for them.
Yeah, and you talk about that offensive line. I hear now that it has become the strength of the Cowboys' offense that they're looking to use Witten more off the line this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Witten does not like to block, and let's be honest, he's an average blocker at best. But they keep him in the block because they got to protect the quarterback. So it's not. I don't think you'll see a lot of max protection from the Cowboys. But it's still very early, as we said. They got a rookie in that line, and Zach Martin. They have Tyron Smith, who's about to become an elite left tackle, coming off his first Pro Bowl. Travis Frederick was very good last year as a rookie. So we'll have to see when they go up against San Francisco and New Orleans, St. Louis, and all these other teams. But right now, after two preseason games, they're very good.
We're talking with Calvin Watkins from ESPNDallas.com. And, Calvin, as a former running back, I love the fact that the offensive line is coming together. It's young, it's athletic, and it's able to do a service for a guy like DeMarco Murray, Inc., and also give Tony Romo pass protection. And if you don't have Jason Witten second level with the mismatch that he is for linebackers and strong safeties, you aren't playing the strength. And I think, this may be a Dallas Cowboys team that outscores people And if you just have a middle-of-the-pack Cowboys defense, you'll win more games than you lose, and you'll have the confidence in the fourth quarter to turn around and hand the ball to 29.
Yeah, that sounds good in theory. I mean, we've heard that story before, and then they're passing the ball over the field. But that's the theory, and that's the blueprint for success is run, and then you can pass when necessary, and then when you get the lead, close the show by running football. Well, the Cowboys don't do that on a consistent basis. Part of the reason was the lack of confidence in DeMarco Murray and Murray's own inability to finish the full 16-game season, which he hasn't done. But so far, at least last night with the first unit out there against the Ravens, we did see the running attack, and that's what you need to see more often. But we'll have to wait and see when we play San Francisco in the opener if the Cowboys are really going to stick to a formula where they're going to run the ball 20, 25 times a game.
Hey, Calvin, this is Rod Chico Tanner. Hey, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I go way back to Starback days, and I was at the Denver game this last year. And tell me some of the things you see in the defense, because we all know that offense sells some tickets, but defense wins games. What is some of the things that you're seeing that are positive?
Nothing.
Okay, well that ended that right there.
No, they got some problems on defense. I did like J.J. Wilcox last night. He made a couple of nice plays in the secondary, and that's what they need, a safety that's going to attack the ball in the air, the point of attack. Milano McClain and Justin Durant's nice little battle there for the starting middle linebacker spot. They just don't have a pass rusher up front. The two best pass rushers are playing for other teams right now. Henry Melton has just been okay. You expected more out of him. George Selvey is just – you wonder if Selvey can have another successful season like he did last year. Nick Hayden, he's an average guy. That pass rush is going to be a key for them, and they don't have it right now. And then the secondary, Orlando Scander's going to miss the first 4 weeks of the season for violating the drug policy. And then, we have not seen Morris Claiborne on the field, the other cornerback. And Brandon Carr, he's supposed to play next week when they get to Miami in the dress rehearsal. So we'll see, where he is, but he's just been average at best. So they have a lot of problems on defense. We all know they're not going to have Sean Lee this year. He's probably their number one defensive player on this roster. So the Cowboys are going to have to outscore a lot of people. I mean, when I mean outscore, I'm talking about they're going to have to score maybe about 35, 40 points because that defense is not looking good right now.
We're talking with Calvin Watkins, ESPNDallas.com. Calvin, you give, I think, a very fair assessment of what's going on. You're right. The blueprint, you got to stick to the plan. And, again, I've been a running back in a huddle where I'm just like, hey, we can kill this clock. If we have 4 or more points, which means a field goal doesn't do it, at any time I believe I can waste 5 minutes of anybody's time. That's on or off the field.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, we're talking on the field or off the field.
So you do have to have that security. And, again, look at the teams that win. In some way, somehow, they move the ball on the ground, and it does take a lot more time than the pass. And, as you mentioned with the issues on defense, you are going to have some things coming together. What do we look for in the next preseason game for Dallas?
Well, they're going to go to Miami, and that's going to be the dress rehearsal. I would expect Romo to probably play maybe the whole first half, maybe into the second quarter. I think that's going to be important for him to get some cohesiveness with that offensive unit, especially with Dez and those guys. There's still some questions, that we have about the defense. I want to see, Morris Claiborne on the football field. I want to see Brandon Carr on the field. So hopefully those two guys will be out there against Miami. We don't know who the starting middle linebacker is. Milano McClain has had a very good camp. Had a slight injury during the middle of camp, but he recovered from that. I think Justin Durant's been very good. I think you got to figure that out. I think you got to find a spot for Tyrone Crawford. Is he going to play left defensive end? Looks like he might be challenging Selvey for a starting role there. So there's some issues that you have to figure out with the defense, but I think for the most part, Romo playing a half is going to be very important, and seeing if he can solve some of these position battles on the defense.
Sounds good to me. We are talking with Calvin Watkins of ESPNDallas.com. You are all over the place for the Cowboys and in Dallas. Can't thank you enough for your time. And, you're more than welcome at any time. How can we follow you off air throughout the day and, get the updated news from you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Calvin Watkins.
There it is. And
there it is.
A lot of good stuff. Exactly, my brother. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We certainly appreciate the insight. And, travel safe and look forward to seeing you in the stadium, if not sooner.
All right, you guys take it easy.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Calvin Watkins right there. And, again, we're getting that feeling. We're getting that feeling. High school, college, pro. And 2 games tonight, and then Cleveland and Washington.
The problem is I have this feeling year round. I have this feeling during the draft. I have it post Super Bowl.
I can shift gears. I like to say I'm more of I love football. Now,
I love sports.
I got a football stuffed animal that high school friends gave me that I still have to this day. So you get no argument. I got the Marcus Allen fathead. I mean, it's all over the place. However, I had a stadium print of our new stadium that we built at Princeton because my friend's dad was one of the engineers, and I got one of the 5 that they made before they put in the new stadium. No doubt about it. But I have appreciation for the San Antonio Spurs. I have appreciation for the Orioles, the Rangers, and the Astros. We're going to talk next segment about the Scorpions.
Yeah, a little bit about the.
Are they in first place?
Not exactly anymore.
They were?
Well, they're
second place.
They're in second, and I'll tell you why.
Okay. We're going to take that sidebar. We're going to hear back from our man, Rod Chico Tanner. We're moving the AAU Focus on You Sports to the top of the hour. To the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. Right here on Laying Down the Law.